So Phil, who's the platform built for?
Yeah. So it's built for the office of the CIO and CFO. It's a purpose-built platform based on my own personal experience of how I had to deal with executive leadership and share the story of how we were managing spend from an IT perspective. We were running the infrastructure. Infrastructure was rock solid. Outages were minimal. Our SLAs and OLAs were all met, but they still looked at that going, how do we know we have the best agreements in place?
Well, the question is, how did you? And the question is, when you go back through your journey, how can you look at this platform and say, I built something because my journey taught me to deliver this?
So I spent so much time and so much effort bringing together teams that were just focused on bringing data together, reporting and developing reporting silos so that I could show my Microsoft utilization, so I could show my cloud utilization, my data center utilization. And each one of these were different groups developed to synchronize the data so that I can provide an executive report that showed the usage of my resources within the enterprise.
So when you talk resource, when you think about this platform, who's it for? When you talk about the 3 pillars of decision making that executives have to make their decision off of, and what you're looking to deliver to them, what are those 3 components, or what might they be?
So I look at it as 1, contract exposure. Who are your contracts? Who are your suppliers? Who are your agreements with? Understanding your terms, your commitments. Once you have that, what's your spend? How am I spending in these areas? Have I adopted the technologies that I've leveraged, or have some of those solutions turned into shelfware? That's a common cause with every one of our technologies that we look at deploying. Is a lot of clients look at deploying these solutions, they eventually turn to shelfware. How do you ensure you're getting what you expected from those various solutions? And then optimization. How do you optimize the environment to assure that you're doing things effectively, efficiently, that you're not overspending in various areas, whether it's license management, resource consumption, the list goes on.
Well, so one of the things that I'll say, and I've been very adamant about this with you. So when I think about delivering to the office of the CIO and CFO from a kind of C-level operator, which is how I've been operating, I think about spend management. How do we manage spend properly? What are the tools and areas of governance that we have to assure that that spend is optimized across all facets? When I look at resource management, I want to know, how are my resources spent? Building one of the most successful managed cloud companies in the United States, we always had to tell customers what their resource spend was. They often didn't know that. And then I realized, well, they weren't managing it very well. And then I realized they had a lot of questions with it. And so, how do you optimize spend? And then how do you optimize resources? And you tell a story between resource management and tell us a story between spend management. And you're looking at the two and you're going, okay, how do you match those up in this world of complexity? What is an IT buyer looking for? There's different levels of buyers. People are tasked for sourcing, procurement, and a service. So when you think about that and you're looking at an IT buyer and you're looking to tell them the story, why did we build this for you? What is the purpose of this build? And why should you see value in this?
Yeah, so I think when you're looking at buying, you're looking at, who do I have that can help me find the right solution to meet my problem, help solve my problem? And so we come at it from a strategic perspective, understanding your architecture, understanding your solution, understanding your landscape. And we try to put together a solution that best meets your specific needs. Because you as customer A can be different than customer B and C. So we're going to meet you where you're at, put together a strategic solution, and we leverage the platform to capture all the key metrics around the various providers. And we've built a concept called Supplier Insights, so you can actually dive in and see the profiles of these various suppliers and any news that may be coming out on the suppliers. That's important in your, making a decision on a healthy service provider.
Yeah, but what is a buyer looking for? So when you are driving this big company, or when you consult companies on a global basis around, what are they looking for? What should they be looking for? What are their thoughts? How should they be analyzing things? Give me 3 key areas that you might have gone into a negotiation, or you thought about, or you presented something, or you needed to gather data to present something that now you've built in this platform. Give me 3 quick areas.
1, buyers looking for a key problem statement. What am I trying to solve and how am I trying to solve it? And what are the possible solutions out there that can help me solve my specific problem?
Okay.
Number two, what are the options? What are the various suppliers that can meet my specific needs and that I can help grow, that can help me grow into the future? What are my options? What are my cost options?
Okay.
Number three, how do I do a downstream selection of those options? And who can I partner with that can actually give me good, intelligent insight into who's best for me? And that's what our platform does. It allows you to get good insights into making buying decisions that are best for you as an individual organization.
See, that's the thing that I always loved about working with you. And I've been working with you for 20 plus years off and on. And one of the areas that I always admired was this concept of deep analytics and understanding of who I'm sourcing to, what the relationship should look like, how do I need to shape the relationship from a executive leadership perspective, and then ultimately when I make my decisions, what are my decisions based on? You've always been very good at making decisions based on factual data and factual inputs.
It's based on a number of things. One, I think you've said this time and time again, people buy from people.
They do.
And people buy from their trusted advisors.
I agree.
And when you came to the table and sold to me 20 plus years ago, it's you and I had built a trust relationship already. So I listened to you. I listened to your guidance. It was, I could take back that to my team to drive future solutions. And we brainstormed together. You didn't come at me right away saying, this is what you need. This is what you have to buy from me. I gave you my problem. We brainstormed on solutions. And then you offered me options.
Some of those days I go back, 20 plus years ago were fun. I mean, I'd sit in the conference room with you for hours, and we would brainstorm. And we would brainstorm ideas and strategies. I mean, look at where the space has come to and the build out of this platform and your ability to tell a story to somebody, because it's no longer, hey, give me the data. I mean, you can go suck this data up, look at all the endpoints, gather the data, talk about performance all the way to the edge off different tool sets. That wasn't there 20 years ago.
It wasn't. No, I mean, at the end of the day, and this has been my experience across the board, and I've built various groups that I work with on a regular basis, I need a sparring partner. As much as the data is good, as much as the data is fantastic and you consolidate it within the platform, people can hand deliver it to you, give it to you. You lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. A sparring partner is going to give you that insight, that advice. Someone that can show different solutions, different variants, and make you think of things you never thought of before.
I mean, listen, I think that's one of the main reasons I've always been so admirable about Andrew, one of the other co-founders, is that he's always been a good sparring partner, and his mind's always been wrapped around, are we doing this right? How could we be doing this differently? And there's a lot to be said about building that strategy and giving that to a customer and building that experience to a customer.
Absolutely. It creates that collaborative effort, collaborative environment.
I agree.